Hey CT Pasadena, my name is Jason Reno, and this is my story for Freedom Weekend. Yeah, I came from a dark spot. In 2017, I got separated. I had been married for 22 years at the time, had 3 children, and I lost a lot of friends. Actually, all of my friends, and even a couple family members had turned against me just because of the length of time that I had been together with my previous wife. They sided there. I went to a point to where my children were kept from me for a little bit, and it was rock bottom. I didn't think that the day that I came in this church for the first time, I didn't think that I deserved to be here. But I had nothing. I had no one. I had the church. That's what I had. I was a little hesitant about going to Freedom Weekend. I had heard it in the spring of 2020, and I kind of pushed it off. And I got involved. I did my Connect track. I went and started on the host team. Then I got to a point where I felt like I was stuck. I was stuck, and I couldn't move any further forward. So Nick and I had continued talking about Freedom Weekend, and some of my other brothers here at the church had mentioned, like, hey, you want to go? So I decided to go ahead and sign up and go. Going into Freedom Weekend, I had a lot of resentment. I was real standoffish to my internals, my emotions. I just felt empty inside. On the outside, I was a great guy. Anybody who knew me said I was a great person, but internal, I just felt like something was missing. I was hollow. The hollow inside is to think of it in terms as I built this giant mansion. It was beautiful, rock walls, everything outside. You go in the front door and there's nothing. There's no furniture, there's nothing inside. So standing outside, all your neighbors and everybody come by and tell you how great the house looks and it's beautiful, and everybody's complimenting on you, what a great job you did, but inside there's nothing. And that's how I felt. Leaving Freedom Weekend made me understand and gave me the willingness to know that I'm loved, and to be able to love others and to express love to one another and be vulnerable. The biggest thing for me was the vulnerability. I had rock walls up, and I didn't understand what being vulnerable to the brothers that were there with me and experienced Freedom Weekend with me, that they would be there for me, and they would be my friends and be my brothers, and I could be vulnerable to them, and they didn't judge me. And I think judgment is a big thing in all of our lives. Not only a judgment of others, but I think judgment of ourselves. And I was able to leave that behind, and it's made a huge difference in my life all the way around. So being able to go to Freedom Weekend open to whatever's to happen, leave all of my walls down, and then coming out with who I am today, I can't explain to you the feeling and the difference that it'll make in your life. But if you're that person, if you feel like you're checking lists every day and you're doing what you're supposed to do as a dad, a husband, a worker, but you're lacking that internal drive, that internal satisfaction with what you're doing, then I would recommend that you go and you give Freedom Weekend a shot. And I was that person. I did it, and I can't explain everything that it did to me, but I can tell you today, 2 years later, that I'm a different person every day to every person around me because of Freedom Weekend.